Hi, I'm Eli, and I make games. So, for this week's episode of Feedback Friday number 22, I am covering a game called Roguelight. Not Roguelite, but Roguelight. It's a pun. You see, this game, it's a roguelike, obviously, if you couldn't tell. But the only light you have is your arrows, which are of limited supply. So it's basically a game of shooting arrows to kill stuff to get money, so you can buy more upgrades while also trying to get more arrows and not run out of light, because when you run out of light, it becomes harder to get more arrows and more health. The game becomes kind of hard. So yeah, that's the game. So we're gonna cover the faults, the praises, and everything else in between. And real quick, I would like to give a word from my sponsor. But guess what? You might be asking yourself, Eli, you have 94 subscribers. You don't have that sponsor. And to that degree, yeah, you're kind of right, I guess. But today, I am sponsored by me. Yeah, I sell stuff. I sell art and stuff. And now, because I said this, there's a sale this weekend. If you click the link below, all of my art packs are 50% off because they are now. And yeah, subscribe and stuff, because that's how you find out about videos. But let's get into this. So let's start with my faults / suggestions. I always say that because some of these are just not really faults, they're just ideas. But still, first of all, I feel like the movement just doesn't feel right. It's when you move around, sometimes the jump just doesn't feel high enough. It doesn't feel as responsive. The movement feels stiff in some places, and I feel like the movement needs to be a little looser in its grasp. I like tight movement systems, but it feels too tight, honestly. And for a roguelike that is part platformer, you don't want that. So I suggest editing some of those movement values, maybe making it so the characters are the slightest bit more slippery, which would help add to like the feeling of kind of just moving and momentum, because in real life, when you walk around, you don't just immediately lose all your force when you stop, you still move a bit. So kind of doing that makes it feel better and more real. And there's full like videos and stuff on how to make platform controls feel better. I'm gonna link one down below that Game Maker's Toolkit did on Celeste and why it feels good to play. It's a really good watch, and I think that will help with it. Another one, this is a hot take, my personal take. I didn't like the music that much, but it's just my opinion. I don't know what else to say. I just didn't like it. I don't know. Probably shouldn't even put this here. But still, I'm gonna move on, because that was a bad one. I wish there was more control options. Great. Arrow keys, Z and X. It's a good setup, but there's so many other control options that I would prefer, or other people would prefer, and it's just to a degree where this is the type of game where editing controls isn't that hard of a thing to implement, because all you do, if you didn't know, is that you just set the thing you want as a string, and then in the little thing, like the little box when changing the control settings, you just edit that string to the other button, and then boom. Most game engines work like that. Though this does look like it's using a framework, so it might be a little more complicated. But still, it would be really nice. Personally, I don't like using a separate button for jump. I just like, if I'm using arrow keys, I want the up arrow to be jump, or if I'm using WASD, I want W to be jump. And you can jump with W, but you can't move with A or D. And I feel like one setup that would be good is if you do WASD and then E, or you could do WASD and then another button with your other hand, like space, for shooting. And those would be very applicable and good options. I know Z is also used for selecting things, but if you just switch that to the counterpart for X, it would just all work out, and just more control options would just be nice. my last thing is that it doesn't really have transitions. It just would be a nice bit of polish. Most of my games don't have transitions because they're really annoying. But it's a level of polish that if, say, you were to take this further, maybe even for monetizable purpose, transitions are just a level of polish that need to be accomplished. But yeah, that was all my faults. So I'm gonna move on to the mandatory fun fact of the day. Now, if you don't know what this section is, great. I'm gonna tell you. Every week on Feedback Friday, I cover a little fun fact. Normally to do with science or history or math or things that I'm interested in. This one's on the Big Bang Theory, and hear me out on this. It's kind of stupid because the theory counteracts itself within the same field of subject. So basically, the idea of the Big Bang Theory is that there's nothing and then there's something, and then the universe rapidly expanded from that due to some massive energy burst. I'm here to say no. In physics, it basically says no matter can be created or destroyed. They can only change state. No amount of energy will ever destroy matter, and no amount of energy will ever create matter. Something doesn't get hot, melt away, and it's not gone. Those chemicals are still there. Maybe they're in the form of gas now. Well, that gas goes in the air, it gets bonds with other things, and now it's something else. It's just how physics work. It's the idea of constant state changing based off levels of energy and what it's with, because when matter combines with different things and different structures, it creates different elements which build up different things. You know, wood's made out of a couple elements. Well, those elements broken down, they're made of a couple different types of atoms, and those atoms are made of the molecules or the matter that's there, and that matter can break off of that, and it can be now a gas now, and this gas goes up with something else, and they combine together to create something new. But all the same, that matter is still there, never destroyed, and it was never created. What the Big Bang Theory is saying is that there's this massive outburst of energy, of which basically just created a lot of matter, even though in physics it basically says that can't happen, which I'm sorry, you know, you big scientists and stuff, but you made an oopsie. But yeah, that was today's fun fact of the day. It was a more theoretical one, but I think it's more applicable, and it's just neat. But now let's get on to the praises. First of all, I'd like to address the fact it's very obvious and glaring. The art looks nice. I don't know what else to say on that. The lighting is a good effect, especially for a game about light. And the pixel art was smooth, nice. I liked it. Good. Sound effects were also good as well. While I didn't personally like the music, the sound effects, I like them. They're nice. They're snappy. They just fit the game well. Now there's some areas that could have probably been improved. And obviously nothing's perfect. And in every subject of the game, everything can be improved because as humans, we just can't reach perfection. So, yeah, but the sound effects were good. Some of them could be improved. Good. I also like the upgrade system between runs. I didn't really realize that why you get money in my first run, and then I died, and then I saw, man, maybe I should get some of this stuff. But basically how it works is that you go through, and in a run you'll get these coins after killing enemies, shooting lanterns, and the such. And at the end of a run, when you die, you go into a shop screen, which doesn't have a transition, like I said, that needs added. And you'll go in here and you can use that coins you got from the run to buy upgrades to make your next runs easier. But to a degree, it's just adding more moveset options. It kind of emulates the Metroidvania-esque vibes the game kind of gives off while making it a roguelike system. and I really like it. One thing I didn't like though is that all your money, if you do not buy something with it, it goes away after the run, so you can't save up, which makes it more urgent to get more coins, because at the beginning, getting stuff's pretty easy. It's pretty average for me to get about 20 coins in a run, so those first few upgrades are fine, but the later ones I've never gotten these, but they're like 140. So I think that's a good game mechanic. Maybe scaled like how you get coins, I guess. I haven't gotten this far in the game, so I obviously don't know if this is there, but I'd assume you might want to scale how much coins you get. I know there's some upgrades to get more coins, but 140 seems a little high. And I also just like the game saves your upgrades and reloads them after closing the game. What I mean by this is that I didn't know this would happen, but I closed the game originally after playing it, and then I realized I didn't record anything, so I got back on, but I didn't know I had my upgrades. But then when I died on the run, I saw the shop menu pop up, and the 6 upgrades are already bought, which it's just a nice system. I don't know how hard it is, and based off of the file, I think this was written, if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to remember. I think this was made in like a Java framework or something. Probably not. I'm probably completely wrong, but I imagine it would be pretty hard in a framework. So that's a nice thing for you. And yeah, that's all my thoughts on Roguelight. I'm going to say that wrong eventually. But yeah, so honestly, I think I need to just say something before I end this video, as this is a game about everything being dark, needing the light up stuff. Notice if you look below, there's this bloody red button, and that's pretty dark. But if you click it, it does turn gray, and it's kind of the color of light. So you probably should click that button. You know? Please, I'm desperate! And yeah! Almost 100 subs, so do that. Hit the like button. You know what to do. But yeah, check out this game and all the other Feedback Friday games. Look at my games. Pretty cool. And just remember, if you like this video, like. If you don't, why did you watch through a video that you don't like? So you probably like, so you know what to do. And yeah, subscribe. Peace.